NFL Wildcard Weekend, UFC, Australian Open, NBA, NHL. A lot going on this weekend. Welcome to the Road to Millions. Andy and Corbin from WagerTalk.com. We're going to give you two NFL best bets. We're going to go over a couple NBA and NHL props. And then we're going to get to really important stuff, especially the Australian Open, which starts this weekend. And we'll go over Bankroll Reset Day, which you had a fantastic week. So very excited about that. So, Corbin, let's just get right into it. Two NFL best bets here. A lot of weather is obviously the big concern. It's in two games. And my best bet here is going to involve one of those games. In Buffalo, it is going to be so nasty. They're saying 65-mile-an-hour winds in the morning. They're worried about fans getting to the stadium. They are not moving the game. And it's just going to be a gnarly, disgusting, windy game. I love Josh Allen over 8.5 rush attempts here. He had 15 last week, and that was in good weather. He had 11 the week before. I cannot see a world in which they're throwing the ball a ton. And as you know, they just don't give James Cook a ton of carries. It's mixed around all over the
Here comes Fournette, and here comes whatever else running back they can find.
Latavius Murray and Johnson. But in these conditions, with as windy it is, and even with the ball as cold as it is, like handoffs are no 100% sure thing in this one. I see Josh Allen running the ball a ton. I see the Bills running the ball, 50 times instead of trying to throw it. It's sustained winds over 20 miles an hour, not gusts, sustained winds. So I'm going over his rush attempts, especially if they get in near the goal line. I see no world in which they're not just going to be running him multiple times. Quarterback sneaks to get first downs and at the goal line count as rush attempts. So I'm going Josh Allen over rush attempts for my best bet. You're going to your Packers, who do not have to worry about awful weather here.
Yeah.
Let's talk Jaden Reed.
Yeah, so I'm going with Jaden Reed over 48.5 receiving. I expect, as much as I love my Packers, I do expect us to be down, or at least in a semi. It's going to be close at best for us. So I'm expecting Love to have to throw the ball, and we're going to have to put up some points to compete with their scoring ability. Reed's gone over this in the last 3 games, and you look around the wide receivers that we have, and Reed is quickly becoming the wide receiver one, particularly with Christian Watson being so banged up still. His hamstring is still not anywhere near ready for this kind of game and the workload he would have got. So that's going to have to go to probably Jalen Reed. Dobbs just doesn't seem much of a threat out of the red zone. I'm not quite sure what's not clicking for him, but all these targets and receptions are all going to Reed. He has so much speed, and he's such a deep threat. I think he's caught passes in each of the last 3 of at least 20 plus. So to get to 48.5 when you're catching those deep balls is really not that difficult. So with those injuries, Watson still being banged up, I'm going to take Jaden Reed over 48.5.
Here we go. Josh Allen over his rush attempts. Jaden Reed over 48.5 receiving. We'll get to a couple of other things in the NFL, but I want to remind you guys, what do we have up? We've got promo code LANG30. It's good for $100 off a 30-day pass, all sports. The 5% NFL pack is up. Australian Open bets will be coming out within the next, what do you think, Corbin, 12 hours or so?
Yeah, I'd say probably 12 hours.
Okay. NHL best bet is not up for Friday, but we will have one up for Saturday. So if you're watching this Friday night, just get ready Saturday morning. Just casually on a 14-3 run in NHL. Just casually.
Just casually. That's nothing. That's nothing for you.
Wait till we get that thing to 20-3. So if you want a 30-day pass, $100 off, or if you're interested in a much longer term pack, Lang 50. It's basically half price. It's $1,000 off for 365 days. This promo goes down by Monday, and we're probably not going to run it again until the summer. So if you're on the fence about it, I would just say we're not allowed to run these specials all the time. This is after the first year, 91 units. So in 2023, kind of promoting and celebrating that. So if you want a long-term pack, go ahead and grab those. Use a promo code LANG50. So a couple of promo codes there, and of course those all include the 5% plays that will be coming up, including the one for this weekend. So go ahead and grab those. We always do some positive vibes from the audience here. And I don't have the window pulled up. Gosh darn it. We'll come back. We'll come here. We'll come back to positive vibes.
We'll give ourselves the positive vibes this week.
We'll come back. So in the meantime, though, just start talking about the Australian Open here. So I guess first off, we got a free play. But before that, go over the times, when our play is going to start, and how chaotic it's going to get.
yeah. The timings are going to be all over for this one. I think I saw you mention it in a show earlier in the week. Yeah. It's the Australian Open. They're playing in Australia. I'm obviously in England, so I'm on a completely different time zone already. And then translating that to you guys in the States is another 2 or 3 different potential time zones. So I can't give you an accurate time right now. As I said, the first. So obviously they play the first rounds. All those, at least the games are up. I don't know if all the lines are up, but they will be hopefully by the end of today. So I'll have the plays for at least the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday first rounds up by the end of today, in various parlays and all sorts. But then going forward, it's probably going to be like an every 2 days or so plays will come out. I'll update on times either on Twitter or I guess it's X now, and then nearer the time. Apart from that, there's going to be loads of plays often and early. We always say at every major, the first rounds are the best when you get these top players versus lower players. You get the players that the books don't know about. As soon as a player that's off everyone's radar wins a couple of games, then suddenly the value in them just shoots off because everyone suddenly knows who all these players are. I think it's statistically my best tournament over the last 2.5, 3 years that I've been doing tennis at WagerTalk, and we're on a real great run coming into this tournament. I think I've won the last 5 or 6 or so. I'm sure we'll come to it when we get to a Bankroll Reset. So that's what's going to go on with tennis the first couple of days. As opposed to my free play, we're going to go with Sabalenka to be the 4th quarter winner. This is for the women's side. She just has so much power and consistency. She won this tournament last year. She's played decently to start this year, only losing to Rybakina, who's another top player, not in her quarter. So I really think this is quite actually an easy draw for her. You look at who she's got. The next, so she's plus 100 to win this quarter. The next best is a player called Mira Andreeva. She's super talented, but she's only 16 years old, and she's plus 600. She really hasn't played anyone this season. I don't think she's even played a warm-up yet, so she's going into this completely fresh. Every time she's played a player in kind of the top 10, 15, she's been exposed quite badly. So this would be a huge jump to get to here. And the next real threat is Ons Jabeur, who again has not played all year, struggles in some of the big games, and they just lack the power and consistency to go against a player like Aryna Sabalenka. She got to Australia, to Melbourne, to this tournament early to practice, so she's aware of all the conditions. She's fully fit and ready to go. So that's probably my favourite outright or future play for this tournament so far.
I love betting on Sabalenka. In my opinion, just in my short time watching her, she really only loses to the players she's kind of supposed to lose to. She does a really good job of putting the hammer down and, taking care of business against players that she's supposed to. So, I enjoy betting on her. Love the intensity. So, love that play. I was going to tell you guys one more time, in case you guys haven't done this. This is just the best way, guys, to make sure you're getting all of the plays. It's creating a Gmail with a unique email. So John Smith, WagerTalk@gmail.com is the example. Turn on the notifications inside Gmail and make sure you let WagerTalk know that those are the plays that you want, or that's the email that you want all the plays going to. Been doing it on my phone. It has worked great. And just every time you hear that new note, that specific notification,
bing.
A play is going through. And just to be honest, guys, it's the Australian Open. They're playing on the other side of the world. Corbin's over in Europe. We're over here in the U.S. So this is the one tournament where it's just very, very wonky when the plays come out. So it's
Yeah.
really, really important to make sure you're getting all those plays. And when you get the plays, do not wait to put them in. If you get a play, put it in. Corbin, you were talking about how just so hard it is to let people know what times they play because it literally changes like right before the match starts.
Yeah, exactly. So as I said, we have all the fixtures for the first round now. Who knows when they're going to play over the next 3 days? They literally announced the schedule the night before. So me putting in my plays now, I won't know if we have a piece that's playing on Monday or a piece that's playing on Wednesday. So I will apologize in advance
Yeah.
if we have to sit waiting for a couple of days to cash one. But yeah, even that same day, there's like rain delays. They schedule games like one after the other. So all it takes is one game to go slightly longer, and that puts the whole schedule on that court out of wonk. So yeah, I can't really give any kind of time other than it's going to start on Monday and enjoy the ride.
There was I think it was last year's Wimbledon where they had a bunch of weather delays and
Yep.
like some of the favorites were already done with their third round.
Yeah, before someone had even played their first round. Yep, it's bonkers. Australia should.
wild.
Yeah, I would expect the Australian Open. Normally, it's a lot hotter and far more weather, far more likely the weather's going to be good than here in England where they play Wimbledon. So a lot more
It is
stable.
wild.
Yeah.
Where do we play the outdoor tournament? Oh, England. Like, oh, okay. I'm sure nothing will go wrong with the rain there. So
Exactly.
Well, nice work. Let's lock in Sabalenka. What a great price just to win the quarter. So love that one. Let's just do the sneaky play of the day. There are only 2 hockey games, and I wasn't going to tell Corbin this, but I so want to play this one tonight. I have not done any plays except NHL players to not have a point, and it has been a smash, a success. 14-3 since I started doing those. There's only 2 games, and I don't have any players to not have a point. But this shots on goal prop, Corbin, is just, it's so good. So Kaprizov is their star player for Minnesota. He's out. He takes 1 million shots a game, like 1 million. He's out. So there's lots of shots on goal available, and I don't think the books have quite adjusted for this. So they got him at 1.5 shots on goal. It's minus 166. So, if you're going to bet it, I would do 1.6 units to win one. Corbin, he's gone over in 6 straight games, and he has 18 shots. Since Kaprizov is out, this guy's firing away. And it's only 1.5. The books have not moved it to 2.5. He's got, 16 shots in 5 games in 2024. I know he's going to hit this one, and I have to exercise extreme patience because I have to stick to my principles and stick to my guns and say don't deviate from what has been working. But this sneaky play of the day, I just love it. Brock Faber for the Minnesota Wild over 1.5 shots on goal. So I even loaded it. I even loaded it as a free play on WagerTalk, but I know it just it feels like when I get away from what's working, that's when it always burns me. So
It's always the way.
I know. Stat of the day: CD Lamb has a TD in 9 straight games. He's only minus 150 against your Packers. I guess the reason I bring that up is if this guy's name was Christian McCaffrey, wouldn't he be minus 300?
Quite possibly. I mean, it's definitely a good sign, isn't it? I mean, 9 straight is pretty crazy at this point. So.
And one of the games was a rushing touchdown. That's how little they trust Tony Pollard. Is they're literally giving CD Lamb end-around carries inside.
I could quite easily see him getting a rushing touchdown against us. I've mentioned it all year that we can't defend the run, so
it's just a great price on a guy that is just, he's lights out. I mean, no reason Dak's going to get away from CD Lamb in this game. So I just thought the minus 150 on a guy that is just scoring lights out every single week you can count on for a touchdown. So
yeah,
that is the stat of the day. I mentioned that there's only 2 hockey games, and it's why do they do this, Corbett? 2 games tonight, 1 million tomorrow, and then 2 on Sunday. What's
keep you on your toes. That's why.
What is that? I don't get it. So there's only one NBA play that I'm going to bring up, and I brought it up before. talked about playing Nikola Jokic under his points, rebounds, and assists, and just kind of doing it every game because we're in the middle of the season. And what's interesting about it is the books are starting to catch on because this was 49.5 and now it's 46.5. And when you look at what's happening, he's still going under. It's just not quite as much as when they had this at 49.5 and 50.5. But that being said, since Murray has come back, it's 11-6 to the under. It's just kind of one of those, if you're going to commit to it, I think you just play it every single night. And if he goes over, then you come back and you play him again. And you see he doesn't do it 3 times in a row. There's too many guys on the team that can score and get really good stats. So I just bring up Jokic because the points, rebounds, and assists. I would believe that if you played this every game for the rest of the year, you're going to come out ahead some units. But you just got to commit to it. And then with the Nuggets, a blowout is always in the deck of cards. So, yeah, that's my only NBA thing. But I haven't put up any NBA plays this year. I'm sticking to my guns on that one. So, all right, Lee, you want to talk a little bit about soccer or score?
It's football, not soccer.
All right.
but yeah, there's so many important things to look at this week, or this month, really. So there's the 2 tournaments that I've mentioned before, the Africa Cup of Nations and the Asia Cup. Quite a few teams lose a few star players to these international tournaments for a month. The main one being Liverpool have obviously lost Salah. That's a huge change to their team. That's their star man. That's who scores all their goals. That makes a huge difference. So I would bear that in mind as you look at plays this week. There's 3 real games that I'm focusing my attention on this week at the minute. The first one is the game that I'm actually going to tomorrow. It's Newcastle versus Man City. I may do a same game parlay with Man City to win or draw, or just to win. City are really in form at the minute. We always start the season well, then we have that dip in the middle that I've mentioned, and we definitely went through that. And then all of a sudden we look like world beaters again. We have one of our star players, De Bruyne's coming back. He had a few games in the cup game just gone. He's now potentially going to be starting, or at least playing a bigger role. Newcastle have kind of fallen off a cliff in terms of their fitness, their structure, so many injuries. I think they got another injury this week to Joe Linton, one of their key midfielders. So the one thing I will say is they have actually had a week break for the first time in a while, with no games since last Saturday. But I do love City in this spot. You could probably take their money line at a good price, or do a same game parlay with the likes of Foden or Alvarez to have a shot, and City to win or draw. That's the first game. The second game is one that, if you're an all-access client, you'll be recognising this one. It's Napoli. Napoli are playing a team right at the bottom of the division, and there's 3 forwards I love to have shots. So it's Varskelia, Raspadori, and Politano. I basically play all 3 of them to have 1 shot or 2 shots, or you can double up on just the Varskelia and Raspadori. This goes back to what I said about the international tournament. They have one of the best strikers in the world at the minute, who's potentially going to be sold for like 100 million in the summer or in this window. But he's off at the Africa Cup of Nations, which means that these 3 players are almost guaranteed to start. So I'd keep an eye out for that. Against bottom of the league, they're going to have all the possession. They're going to have hundreds of shots. So I would look at those 3 players.
Hundreds of shots.
Yeah, they're literally just going to be firing the shots from everywhere. And then the third game is Real Betis in the Spanish league. They're at home. They're so much better than when they're away. They're unbeaten in the league at home. They drew the last 2 games at home, but they were to the top 2 teams in the division currently, Real Madrid and Girona. They lost the last 2 on the road, but this is a great bounce back spot for them. They're playing Granada, who are awful and haven't won an away game all year. So you can easily take... I quite like Real Betis to get back to winning ways here. Either take them on the money line, or you can do Betis to win or draw. As I said, they haven't lost all year at home. Granada haven't won all year away. You could probably put that with one of the other 2 games that I've mentioned, but they're the 3 spots that I like. But yeah, I'd really keep an eye out for the players that have gone on international duty. That's probably the main piece of news. So
And Corbin, you're going to a game just right down the street from you, right?
Yeah. I'm going all the way from. I basically live in London, and I'm going all the way to Newcastle, which is the other side of the country. It's like a 5.5 hour drive tomorrow. So looking forward to that one. And of course,
Oops.
I'll be doing all the driving.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, yeah, so all access, keep your eye out for those. We got to wait for the light-ups to come out, so Corbin will get those out. And again, set up that email because tomorrow morning for us here in the States, like, if you're like me, like that phone goes off, you know exactly what's happening on Saturday morning is we got to get those soccer plays in. So, money never sleeps. That's the Wall Street thing. So, all right. So we got soccer taken care of. We got hockey. Get ready for tomorrow, man. UFC. I went ahead and attached our UFC best bet to the 5% soccer play, so you'll have that. We will definitely have
soccer play. We don't have a 5% soccer play up.
Sorry, UFC and football. Sorry, NFL. Now you got me.
See, even now you getting them mixed up.
Yeah, so 5% NFL play. The UFC plays attached to that. We will have NHL, and most likely we're going to have soccer. So it's going to be a big day.
And our 5%'s in the game on Saturday, so I wouldn't wait till Sunday to try and get that because you will have missed it.
Absolutely. So, all right, so that is going to do it for plays. Let us jump to Bankroll Reset. I'm still trying to figure out how to be more excited. Corbin's trying to get me.
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
Here's the thing. So you did a good job of pulling that video. That video was in real time when I saw a win happen. I get desensitized because I have to track all these every single day. So it's not like a huge
So what you're saying is we need to put a GoPro on you at all times. So whenever you're celebrating a play, we can just grab that footage.
I was stoked last night because I put an NHL play in, and because you and I were like, "Hey, we're like locked into really nice profits," and then I'm like, "Yeah, but because Netsoft plays tonight," so we put it in and we hit. So to me, if you guys know me and know my betting style, this could not be better. We only had 15 plays in the last week. We go 13-2. For plus 14.05 units. Clap it up. Clap it up. You too, Corbin. I mean, this
brilliant stuff.
How can you can barely beat this? So, NFL. I was very proud of our restraint last weekend in NFL. We had 2 plays that we loved. We stuck to them, and we bring home 5 units in NFL. NHL been doing great, 4-1. Plus 3.75 units. My gosh, if I could bring home 3 units each week in NHL, wow, will that be? I would just be so happy. You only had one soccer play because we had the weird games last week. Tennis, there you go, 4-0 for plus 5 units. I love that you took the 4-0 and you were like, you know what? We're just going to stick with this and ride off into the sunset with those. But golf 2-0. I want to come back to tennis. Golf was 2-0 plus 3 units. Golf is going on right now. Corbin may have discovered a little gem with tennis. So just talk through what you saw this last week, and hopefully we get some more opportunities this season.
Yeah, so the main one was the qualifiers actually for the Australian Open, particularly on the women's side. Now, I've always stayed away from this. It is a crazy couple of days in the qualifiers. You get some players that really shouldn't be there, and some that are like fighting for their life just to try and qualify for a tournament because they may never get there. So you get these really solid players that are quite steady. You put them in the main draw and they're not going to beat the likes of Sabalenka or any kind of top 30 or 40 names. But you get these solid players against these players that are just so wild and erratic that all they need to do is basically keep the ball in the court and the other player is just spraying errors all over the place. So capitalize on a couple of those. I think it was 2 or 3 of those that we had, particularly on the women's side, and they all won in straight sets really easily. So that's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye out for.
I was stunned when you when you were like, I'm playing qualifiers, and I was like,
I think
Wait,
Andy may have fell off his chair when
I did. I was like, are you sure?
He was having a panic attack.
You've always like not really been a fan of qualifiers,
Yeah.
but now that when you put the plays in and then I was able to follow along, I was like, oh, I get what he sees here. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and you're right. There were just so many unforced errors and just really, really good plays. So good stuff on that one. So, all right, let's pull out our spreadsheet. If you don't have a spreadsheet by now, I have a link. It is in the pinned comment on this video. So if you don't have your own spreadsheet, just click on there. The steps are off to the right-hand side, how to make it specific to you. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section. So let's scroll down here. We did our 2023 review and 2024 goals last week. So we didn't do reset. We were minus 11.27, which is a real bummer. So it knocked us down to 1,476. So one unit became $14.76, and we were up 14.05 units. So we multiply 14.76. You just multiply it times 0.1405, and we end up with $1,683. That is an awesome, awesome week. So our unit for this week is going to be $16.83 for purpose of this. Make sure you're adjusting your units for your own bankroll. If you had bets that you made, make sure you put them in there. But that's for the Road to Millions. That's what we're looking at for this week. So we will definitely have a lot more than 15 plays this week with the Australian. We might have 15 plays by Monday.
Yes.
with
we are not going to be low volume over the next week.
No. And, someone was asking about that from us, sports that you specialize in or like how many plays. And I really like I like the situations that we're in because like last week, we just showed you can bring in 14 units when there's not a lot on the board. If you're just really, really selective, it's amazing how those units add up. And then you get a week like this week where it's like, we've got UFC back. We got full slate of NFL games. We've got full slate of NHL games. Oh, add in the Australian Open. So on weeks that we need to be higher volume, we can. And on weeks that we just don't have a whole lot of options, then we'll just go, we'll tackle it with quality over quantity. So I like where we're at with everything. So let's see. Is there anything else that we need to go over for this week? Do you want to talk a little UFC? I'm going to do a UFC video for this one. Okay. Was there anything you particularly really liked?
I don't think so off the top of my head. I think I've put Anklaev in one parlay. He's fighting Johnny Walker in the main event. I know that you're completely scared of main events, but I think this is a great matchup for him. Outside of that, I don't think I have too much for this card. So
okay. Well, I will do a video and put that up. And I have a little special question here, Corbin, for all of our Takedown Live. If anyone's listening to this and you guys are Takedown Live people, so Corbin, you're out of town. Jim is busy, and so is Nathan. And I made the promise that I wouldn't do a Takedown Live by myself. So I'm just lobbing this out there. If anybody wants to do Takedown Live with me tomorrow, all you need is a camera and microphone, AirPods, or some way that we can hear you and see you. If anybody would like to do Takedown Live with me, I would love to have you. It's a long time, as Corbin will vouch for you.
Good luck.
Hey, take breaks, come and hang out, and we'll go over all the fights. So if anybody out there really, really wants to and can commit to watching all the fights live with me, and of course we're going to be following NFL plays and everything else.
It's a ton of fun. It's just long, so
it's long, and even if you need an hour break or something, by all means, like you do not have to be there the entire time, but you just have to be available for most of it, and I can handle the rest. So I will do Takedown Live. I can't miss the first show of 2024. So
breaking his rule on the first week back.
This is one rule I think everyone would be happy that I broke. Like if I broke some of the other ones, it'd be pretty bad news. So All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. So give us a like, leave us a comment, give us some positive vibes here. And don't forget, if you need a 30-day pass, you got $100 off right now. Use the promo code LANG30. And if you're looking for a long-term pass, LANG50. We're not going to run this special again until probably the summer, so don't wait on it and hope it's going to come back in the next month or so. We only run these a couple times a year, so year's worth of plays, $1,000 off. It's half price for 365 days, all sports, all percentages. Use the promo code LANG50 at checkout at WagerTalk.com. Corbin, have fun on your drive and at the soccer game. Have fun researching all these tennis plays. I do not envy what's getting ready to happen. I know how much research you put in, but it is greatly appreciated when we get all those units rolling in. So good luck. Make sure you turn your notifications on. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Twitter or leave a comment here, and I'll be answering those all night. So good luck on all your plays, and we will see everyone next time on The Road to Millions.
Good luck.